It's when you feel like there's no risk to your lower back. Interlace your hands behind your head. Press your feet firmly against the floor. Walk them a little closer to your hips. Now tuck your tailbone so that the low back is on the ground. And if you were wearing a belt, why would you wear it in yoga class? But if you were wearing a belt, your belt would also be on the floor. So low back and belt are on the floor. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders. Just with light pressure of the hands against the head, squeeze your elbows closer together so that you can scoop your shoulder blades up off the ground. Now squeeze the block. And if you forgot your hips, push into your heels and let the hips curl slightly. Low back and waist area on the ground. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift up through your right elbow, through your right shoulder blade, and feel that your right shoulder blade is no longer on the floor. Bring it back to center. And lift up through the left shoulder blade, left elbow, and feel how that shoulder blade isn't on the ground. Come back to center. Inhale. As you exhale, take both elbows closer together and lift your upper body up off the floor, pulling the navel down and lifting slightly in the pelvis. Perhaps a little bit of tuck. Good. Release everything down to the floor. Did you feel that in your abs?
Yes.
Yes. Did anyone feel it in their back?
No.
No. Okay, so in a room full of, I don't know, how many people do we have here? 30, 35 people. Nobody felt that ab exercise in their back. It doesn't matter what I believe to be true. It matters what is universally shown. So I think that's a safe back ab that we just did. Good job. You take the block out. Anytime you're stretching the groin, you want to stretch it very gently. So use your elbows, your forearms on the floor, and press down into the ground. My favorite analogy is to imagine that I let loose a herd of porcupine in the room, and they're crawling underneath your stomach. So you want to lift your stomach up a little bit. And then walk your body over to the right side. Very, very slowly. Yep. Mandukasan pose. You could call it frog pose, but I know a French bulldog that does this quite well. You still want your hips to move backwards. Do it gently. Gently move the hips back. And push against your hands so that you can bring your pelvis under. Now you guys, you need that front foot to come forward. Everybody except for Billy. Right? Billy and Jessica have it too far forward. So if you notice that the shoulder's a little higher, you want to roll it back and down. Lightly bend the elbow. Yeah, just like that. Good. And then power up through your chest muscle. Do you feel that more? Okay. And then bend it a little bit more. And then turn your shoulders to face me more. Do you feel it in the chest yet?
Yes.
Okay. And lift up that area where you just touched. And then turn it to the center of the room and you should feel it even more. How does it feel with the bolster behind your knees? Lovely. Who is this good for when we put the bolster behind the knees?
Lower back.
Pregnant, right? Early stages of pregnancy. Everyone. And lower back. Because for a lot of people, laying the body flat out on the floor is actually a challenge. They're so used to sitting. So having the knees bent, even if there's no bolster, is a nice modification for people with low back injuries. Now what about the blanket on top of the belly? How does that help?
Warms you up.
Warms what part of your body?
Everything.
The abdomen, the center of your body. Increases the circulation to the organs and to the lower back, and also it sinks weight down through your body into the chair. The chair, people. So, for you guys, how does it feel to have your legs up on the chair? It feels nice. Your hips are releasing? Yeah.
Shoulders are releasing.
Shoulders, if you're in Shavasana position, the front of the shoulders are releasing here. This is actually a recommended posture by the Igasku method for back healing. So if you have one hip that's tilted differently than the other hip, resting here for anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes can start to even out the imbalance of the hips. It's so nice. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yes. Oh yeah.
right? But who wouldn't it be safe for? Who can't do this pose?
Late trimester pregnant lady.
Late trimester pregnancy, right? Because the weight of the baby pushes down on the artery in the spine. They know when it's time. You would feel it, right? And in that case, they would roll onto their side and put a bolster underneath the knee. So I think what we're saying here is that there's a variation for everyone. It just takes a little bit of exploration to learn what it is, right? And sometimes people will say, hey, did you do your yoga practice today? And I'm like, yes, I took a bath with Epsom salts, and then I went for a massage. Right? So your yoga practice might be taking a bath, making a nutritious meal, getting a massage. And that's really honoring your wisdom. So people in the bolster position with the blankets, how do you feel? Metza metza? Yeah, you missed it. Okay, great. So universal consensus, better on the chair. Right? This one is tighter on the low back? Mm-hmm. So those of you on the floor with the bolster, just take your hands to your hips and tuck your tailbone under. So you're going to push your lower back down longer. Yep. And then once it's long, walk your shoulder blades away from your low back. So you're going to do a little walk with your shoulders. And then let your shoulders roll back and down. Do you still feel it? Better. Okay. Cool. And feel how when you turn your palms down, you're suggesting internal rotation in the shoulders. So if you were to rest here for a prolonged period of time, that would be the postural pattern that you're asking your body to do. So now turn your palms face up to the ceiling. And you'll feel just the smallest movement on the front of the shoulder. If your arms drift further away to the side, it's okay if you bump your neighbor's hand, but if your arms drift further away to the side, it actually will help your shoulders roll open even more. We can't walk that way, that would be weird if you walked with your arms that far out to the side. But we can definitely rest here. Now you do have options here. So as you're side bending, if you turn your chest more to the ceiling, you'll get more of a front side body release. If you turn your chest more to the ceiling, you'll get more of a front side body release. If you take your body just in a flat sideways plane so that your chest is facing me, you really get this side. And then if you let your heart twist and face the floor a little bit, you get into latissimus dorsi and the lower back. And see if you can feel the middle of your back and your lower back inflating as you breathe. You can always turn your head in the other direction so that it's soft. I really like what the book The Heart of Yoga by Desikachar says. In its introductory section, it mentions that each student will have a practice that is as individual as they are. That to each person, they'll need to tailor the poses or the sequence or the way in which they move through them to their own needs, to their own body. And that in an ideal world, you would work one-on-one with a teacher. And they would show you and help you to learn how to discover those places in yourself so that you could take responsibility and create the practice that really balanced and strengthened your body. Let these discoveries and these discussions leave you not unafraid to dive deeper into the truth, to keep exploring, to keep your passion ignited. Because it's worth it. And finding a way to help other people, finding a way to help yourself live better, breathe better, move better, and to rest and fall in love with who you are and the people around you is invaluable. It's beyond compare.